What's up, the squad? Back with another video I sent that I was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. I had a lot of people commenting. Hopefully this is the right video. But y'all are saying that this is. I had a lot of people commenting. Big shout out to Officer Tatum. I definitely got to say that. Commented on my, I guess now 2 videos ago for y'all seeing this. Big shout out, saying that he got my back. I've been having a lot of people, emailing me, talking crazy, saying this, saying that, DMing me, comments, of course, different things, because I've said some things when it comes down to this Nolan case, but you already know I'm going to come with those facts. I'm going to come with realness, and that's just how I feel. People commented, this individual right here, not talking about Don Lemon, but family friend. So this is a family friend of Nolan. I'm sure some of y'all have seen this. This is actually my first time seeing this interview or seeing this talk or whatever this Don Lemon wants to call whatever he got going on. But y'all have it right here.
Daniel, how do you know
a family friend, a barber? People are saying barber and people are saying family friend.
With how you know Nolan Wells and his family.
Same thing.
Okay, well, I've been knowing his mom since she was like in high school and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But I came and his stepfather, we still work out in the same gym together right now. And I came to know Nolan through his, she had this lady babysitting him, and I'm real good friends with her son, Bingo. And they would bring him around, bring him to my barbershop all the time. And I gave him his first haircut. And
so I feel like that's like a little bit deeper though. Like you actually going to school with the mom. You still go to the same gym with the dad. From what I'm learning, so I'm seeing who this. Pretty sure his name is Emmanuel. I think he said. Go to the same gym. His stepfather, knowing his mom since high school, and gave him his first haircut. That definitely sounds like a family friend. Want to hear more? We
used to have him to say every time he would leave, we would say, "What's your name?" And he would say, Nolan Wells. And we all used to laugh at it. We used to make him say his name every single time, man. He was a funny little kid, man. That was what was up, though. But yeah, that's how I came to first know him,
Yeah. And over the years, you watched him grow up?
Yeah, I watched him grow. I didn't see him for a period of time. And then he became a football player. And I used to go to his games and watch him play all the time. And, and his dad was a football player as well out of Morris Point. He went up to Mississippi State. And so I knew he was going to be a stellar athlete. You know what I'm saying? His dad working with him every day the way he was, everybody that come through his dad's training and stuff like that, all be pretty good athletes, And Nolan wasn't no difference. He was good. He was a great athlete. Had NFL potential, man. Had the right size and everything.
Yeah. So what is it like there? Wait, hold on. Before I get there, do you know the other kids involved? Do you know some of the friends?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead. How do you know them?
Well, with the recent ones that was on like TMZ, I spoke with him Friday night. I know one of the white guys and one of the pitchers, where it's quite a few of them, not one of the 3 on the boat. They were all in a collective group there. And me and his father, we're very good friends. We get up and have lunch about 2 or 3 times a week currently.
Don't y'all find it odd that the family friend knows Nolan Wells' friends and the mom and stepfather, I guess, is claiming that they don't know him? Or
Listen, man, I want to say this to you.
It's a little odd to me.
I know it's probably not following your questionnaire.
It's a little odd to me. The parent that I think it's some lies being told because of this whole Ben Crump with the parents.
That is a problem that we're having here. There's a lot of blacks, right along with a lot of whites, that are having this problem. When Ben Crump and Al Sharpton came to our state, I think one thing they did wrong was you can't come down here and start saying that our state is prejudiced. This is prejudiced place. This is the state that limit teal. Well, that was 71 years ago. and Emmett Till was for looking and whistling at a white woman. These days, it's so many blacks having babies with white people. White men are marrying black women down here. We have so many sandy brown haired mixed babies running around down here. We are a gumbo down here. And another thing, Don, is we are a military community. That's how we got here. My dad is originally from Louisiana, and my mom's New Orleans. And my dad was military. That's how I got here, through Keishler. And so we have Navy bases here and Air Force bases here. That's what we are. And it's a gumbo. Everybody, white people, try their best to not ruffle the feathers of black people, and black people try their best not to ruffle the feathers of white people for the majority of it. So when Ben Crump come to this town and start saying things like that, he's alienating these people, and he's getting pushback now. That's why he's getting all this pushback. And it's going to me, it's hurting the whole entire investigation, which is why he's probably not getting a lot of help from people. To me, that's the deal. You cannot come in here and tell us how racist we are. Well, these people showing you how they hate you doing that type of stuff in our community, and he's going to get this type of pushback that he's getting.
Okay, can I jump in here?
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, look, I'm from Louisiana, so I know there's lots of mix. I mean, that we are all, that's what Creole and mulatto is about. We've been mixing it up. We invented mixing it up in Louisiana, so I understand what you're saying. But that doesn't end racism. Sometimes it heightens it, right? Because then there's a hierarchy, and then there's colorism, and then people say.
But I feel like that's just more of an excuse. I feel like it definitely helps. I don't feel like it's intentionally like, oh yeah, we need to do this so this can stop, when it comes down to racism. Like I'm not about to go as far as saying that, but I am going to say that when it comes down to stuff like that, it could be potentially something that, could help, have these different, I truly believe in that. So for Don Lemon to sit there and, speak like that and say, oh, it doesn't help, it heightens it. And, when you speak negative on something, the outcome is you're going to get negativity. And that's truly what a lot of these individuals are wanting within this case.
I can't be racist because I'm married to a white person or whatever, or I'm married to a black person. And we know that that's not true. The other thing that sounds like, though, and I just want to put this here, I'm not trying to insult you, is like, it kind of sounds like back in the civil rights movement when people would say these outside agitators are coming here and telling us what to do, and we don't want race mixing here. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I understand how people may feel, but sometimes, I just want you to take this into account. Sometimes it takes, and I'm not saying they're doing this, but just to think about this, sometimes it takes someone who comes from the outside to hold up a mirror so that you can see what's happening, because sometimes you're too close for the forest to see the trees. All right.
Okay.
But I feel like that's also lame, that he's saying that, because y'all gotta think about it. Like, you can't sit there and tell somebody how things are from the outside and you know nothing that's going on. You truly don't know nothing that's going on when especially you're not knowing these friends, you're not knowing Nolan, you're not knowing the parents, you're not knowing there's nothing that's going on. You don't know nothing that's going on in Mississippi. You don't know nothing. Like, you truly don't know nothing. And for him to sit there and say that, and I feel like Don Lemon is, I'm going to start calling him denial lemon, because he's very so much in denial with a lot of things, and he gotta watch that. You can't say that, oh yeah, sometimes it takes a person from the outside to come in and show you a mirror of what you no, especially you got somebody that's actually been you in Mississippi, you around the area. That's the other way around. Somebody coming from the inside, that person that lives in that area and that's around the area, you show them, okay, this is how things are, this. You're not going to learn nothing. So you mean to tell me that he just come in there, you know everything? No, it don't work like that.
So I'm not saying that doesn't exist, that people shouldn't feel that way, but I think that people should have an open mind about it, because
we do.
That's what civil rights leaders did back in the day.
Well,
okay, go on.
We do. I'm for them coming to find justice, but you cannot walk into this town claiming it's racism. All these same state that commit till these racist white people. when 30 that eulogy, I was at the funeral. That eulogy had to be, and just so I set it up, you know, you can see this is his obituary. So that eulogy had to be the hardest eulogy for Al Sharpton. When you walked in his church and you saw 30% of the church is white. These are his friends. These are all the people he hang out with. Here's what I'm saying, Don. It's like in this generation, it's like we're still charging cases like we're in the 60s when something happens here. I'm not saying a white man did not kill Nolan. What I'm saying is,
well, we don't know that. I'm not going there.
Yeah,
that's not
I'm
what
saying,
I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying it could be over something else. It may be over.
But how is it not what he's saying? But at the same time, they're pushing that to be. If that's the case, Don Lemon need to go down here and say that people need to stop doing things like that and making up their own narratives, because I feel like that's truly what they're doing when it comes down to these friends, you know, of Nolan. You know, but now he's saying, "Oh, that's not what I'm doing." Come on now.
Why does race have to lead every time? Why are we leading this investigation with race? Because that's where you're upsetting everybody at. It's when you're saying race, when he's been hanging with them same white guys all his life. And
I have an explanation for you about why, possibly. Because when the photographs came out initially, it was just Nolan with all white people. Right. Mm-hmm. And he's and so the world, this is not just Ben Crump. The family asked Ben Crump to come in. It's not like he volunteered to do this. OK, so, and not that I'm defending Ben Crump. I'm just sort of explaining to you why why people think race is involved or why it's involved. First of all, let's just be honest, Emmanuel. We know the history of the country. We do know the history of Mississippi. And one of the best indicators of what the present is and possibly the future is the history. Right, of something, the history of your medical thing. You heard Al Sharpton say that at the funeral.
But how long are people going to continue? And I'm not saying to just forget about it. I'm not saying to sit here and to not think of things or to just let, and this goes for anybody, you know, but at the same time, I don't feel like things are going to get better as long as people is talking about race. You still sitting here talking about, oh, this is the state that does this. This is the state. It's gonna be years from now. People continue to talk about, oh yeah, this is the state of this, and we went through this, and it's like it keeps on going on top of each other. Y'all gotta think, if we talking about it, y'all going back down to slavery, you know, and things like that, and then y'all move it all the way up to where we just got done with the Carmelo Anthony case. We get done with all these different cases, Those are still they're going to continue to overlap as long as people bring up race with this. I'm speaking on the Carmelo Anthony case, and I'm going to have people in the comments saying, oh, well, this, that, and the other. First of all, Carmelo did something, and he got to face the consequence. When you go to Nolan Wells, just like Don Lemon said, I'm not going to go that far because we don't know what happened. We don't know this. So how are y'all going to do that? But then that again, you have this Ben Crump that has said multiple times of different cases, oh, this happened, and then when stuff finally comes out, oh, this end up, you know, it wasn't, you know, what was said, you know, people had made. He don't go back and retract. He don't do none of that at all. So then that leaves a lot of people with, oh yeah, that happened to that boy. That happened, you know, the first time I actually think it was Ma'Khia Bryan. I'm pretty sure that's not her name. That's her name. It was another individual. I heard, and I'm probably gonna get hate for this too, of course. You know, and he'll speak on something like that, and then when something finally comes out, you know, it's nothing. It leaves people to think that's what that was, and I feel like that right there, it messes up a lot of things. It messes up a lot. I'm not saying it's so much an excuse for anybody because, you know, they're their own person. You know, and they should know. But I'm telling y'all, it doesn't help the situation. And they know exactly what they're doing.
Doctor, and you say, this hurts, or I have this ailment, and they go, what medication are you taking? What's your family's medical history? Okay, so you have that history in Mississippi. Not everybody lives in Mississippi. And so the people who are on the internet, the people who don't live in Mississippi, they see a black guy with all white guys, and they go, oh, he's the only one that didn't come home. The history of Mississippi, blah, blah, blah. So people start putting two and two together, and that's why race is involved in this, because that is the history of America. Now, whether race played a role in his demise, No one knows that. No one knows that. But there is no denying that race plays a part in this case simply because of the optics. That's where the race part came in. That may be offensive to some people there, but the truth is often offensive. That is the reality in America. Yeah, yes, sir. You can ask me. We're here to have a conversation.
Okay. When Emmett Till was 1955, I believe it was, he died for whistling and simply looking at a white woman. Now we have went from there to making babies with these white women. When does that go out of the window for, as you know, this racial component of Mississippi history years ago? How can we accept that history when it comes to
you can accept it by acknowledging the problem. You accept it by acknowledging the problem and acknowledging the reality of the history of the country. You accept it by saying, I understand why people think race is involved. I understand why. I
understand why people do it, but what I'm saying is it a fair assessment for us?
Of course it's a fair assessment.
We have nothing but a bunch of We have nothing but mixed kids running around down here.
But just because you have mixed kids, because you have mixed kids, it doesn't mean that you're not racist.
But Don, nobody's dying now. Back then they died for looking at her. Now we're sleeping.
Let me ask you this.
And nobody's dying.
One thing. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Emmanuel.
And I feel like that's what a lot of people are missing. You know, what he just said. You acting like things haven't changed. And they truly have. I got mixed kids. I'm sure I got a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. She's about to be 3. 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. Both girls. Mixed. Yeah. Pretty. Girls are you know, they got some, you know, they get their looks from their dad. You know what I mean? Mom a little bit. But I'm telling y'all, I don't understand.
Do you know why Nolan died or how?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right.
So I'm for an investigation. That's why I said I'm for Al and them coming here and investigating. But Don, what I'm saying is I don't think he should have led with this strong racial, the same people who came in. I mean, that was almost 100 years ago, and we're now sleeping with white women, and white men are now sleeping with black women, creating babies with these people, man. I mean,
but that doesn't mean that racism. I think that your idea of what racism isn't necessarily calling people the N-word or beating them up. It is a system that is based on.
He's missing what Don is missing what Emmanuel was saying. He's basically saying that, and that's why he's smiling and looking at him, because he's not getting it. This is why what pisses me off when you have people like Don that's getting millions of dollars and doing this and doing that and having these takes that don't know nothing they talking about and sounds ridiculous of what they talking about. He is not getting what he's saying. What he's basically saying is that times are changing. Y'all can't keep on saying, oh, Mississippi is like this because this happened 100 years ago. People can't, it's a time to where you have to sit there, and I could even see if this is a little bit, if it comes out, oh yeah, these white boys did this. Nothing has came out to that. And even if it was even a possibility of that, my thing is, people can't keep on basing things off of race. They're basing everything off of race. If y'all make it, my thing, you got Don Lemon, we talking about Ben Crump, we talking about people that's talking crazy to me, sending DMs, sending messages to me, talking crazy. My thing is, y'all got all this energy for Nolan Wells in this case. Not to say that it's a bad thing, because of course, just like y'all, just like myself, we want to know. We definitely want to know what happened. But at the same time, all them people that's being negative, Don Lemon, all these people that's sending me messages, Ben Crump, you got Al Sharp, you got all these individuals that's saying this and saying that. Why not have the energy when it comes down to a lot? Since y'all want to bring up race and talk about that, there's things that happen on a daily basis in Indianapolis. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, there's not more than 3 people that's willing to talk, that's willing to march, that's willing to speak on the news, that's willing to, none of that. They're not willing to do none of that. None of that at all, right? None of that. And that's what bothers me. Y'all can't sit here and then blame it and y'all ready to point the finger, oh, this white person and this, that, and the other. Oh, we need answers. We need somebody to speak up. We need this and we need that. Bro, y'all got all that energy. Start applying that energy to other things. Start applying all that energy to investments, to y'all kids, to this, to that. Not to down talk, nobody. But I'm saying all this energy when it comes down to race, regardless of whoever you are, you can be green, orange. If you move that way and that's all you about, take all the energy and actually realize, like, what am I? Is this actually something that should be this way? Especially within this case, is this something that's actually, or should I just wait for the investigation? Why am I sitting here and making it seem like this individual is doing? People got to start thinking, bro. Because they clearly
on
not.
Superiority and history and present and sometimes people who are in relationships with people of a different ethnicity or a different background, they still have not dealt with racial issues. And sometimes, sometimes the love for people of a different ethnicity is a similar love, especially for blacks and whites, all right? Especially of a certain generation.
I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. I've dealt, with different things, and I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. It can exist from anybody, from any color, from any it can. It truly can. From words to saying something, from doing something, it truly. I'm not saying that it doesn't. But when you push something, when it turns into like that's what bothers me out of it. That's truly what bothers me out of it. And then on top of that, I don't know what this dude talking about. I literally, like when I say literally, just listen to Don. I'm telling you, I don't know how a lot of people do it. I truly don't.
It's the same sort of love that you have for a pet, where you are, I'm serious, where you love them, you protect them, you pay for everything, but it doesn't mean it's the same love that you have for a human being. It's kind of that, okay, I understand that. In America, the reason that we have this is because we don't deal in a fulsome way with race. We're not honest about it. And we think that racism is something where it is overt. It's not always overt. And there are people who came up through the civil rights movement and people who were discriminated against, they're still here. And the people who were part of the Klan, there's a huge Ku Klux Klan contingent in this country.
Can y'all please explain to me, what does this have to do with the Nolan Wells case? I feel like I'm lost. What does this what is what he talking about got to do with the Nolan Wells case? He done went all the way there. This ain't got nothing to do with the Nolan Wells case. That's wild. I feel like it don't. Y'all might, there's probably people that might think it. I truly feel like it don't. I don't know, man.
People who are part of the Proud Boys who said that they're racist. There are people part of the new neo-Nazis. They say they are racist and they are open with it. So, and a lot of that comes from the South, from Louisiana where I am, and from Mississippi. And if you go there, if you know, if I can drive 5 minutes from where you are and find a person who's involved in one of those groups and a person who's in that community. So don't tell me that racism is stamped out in Mississippi and where you are because people are sleeping together. First of all, people have urges, and people used to sleep with each other on plantations.
Which is true.
I'm just saying. The master used to sleep with the people on the plantation, women and men.
Right. I was out. Here's what I want.
That's all about urge. That's a lot about urge, and you need to get your freak on.
And what
I'm just saying some of that.
I think that's slightly different topic than what I was speaking of. Like this Saturday, right. I was out at dinner, man, and everybody in the restaurant was mixed. I see a black woman here with a Mexican guy, and they got 2 kids, 16 to 17 years old. Of course,
that happens everywhere.
That's how we are down here.
I know that. I'm from the South. I've been saying that people in the South, black people and white people, integrate more than they do in the North. But that's mostly about socioeconomics. It doesn't mean that racism is solved. It's because basically those people who live together are
He's
the
not saying that racism is solved. Is this dude like I don't know like what is his how much are they paying this dude? Like now I'm confused. Like what is wrong? Like what is going on? Like honestly, this dude's net worth is 20 million. Do I not speak real enough? I know it's not about the money. I'm just saying like they literally like something is wrong. Something is wrong with something. Like I'm confused. I don't know like what it is. I'm truly confused. He's not about to sit here and tell me that he's truly not understanding what he's saying. He's not saying that it's solved. He's not saying that, it's just out the way. He's simply saying that times have changed. From what they going back and saying, Ben Crump was better off saying something about a different case that had happened a couple years ago or 3. He talking about something from almost 100 years ago. And I feel like that becomes a problem because if you're talking about something 100 years ago, that means with cases like this is going to be forever be something because people are going to continue to do it. And my thing is they're going to continue to do it because there are so many people that continue to listen to what they got to say.
same part of the socioeconomic group. So if you are mostly middle class people and you have grown up there, you are going to pretty much be together in the same places. But
Right.
here in the North, it is about rich people who are all together. Most of them mainly are white because that's sort of, generational wealth. Most black people didn't have the opportunity to do that. But here in the North, it is more polarized than it is in the South. The South, I think, used to be segregated, but people are more polarized here in the North than they are in the South.
And now I know you can speak on that better than most because you from the South and you've been living all over. You've been living in the North, so I can
Not
understand.
only am I from the South and living in the North, my family just left here, and we had a long discussion about this, and a long discussion about people who believe that racism is over, or just because people what they're called, there's race mixing. That's what the racists used to call it back. But people who are marrying interracial marriage, they think that racism is over because of that, and it's not.
No,
but it doesn't mean that it is as bad as back in Emmett Till.
Right.
We made
Racist
progress.
people is gonna always be with us. There's nothing you can do about that. That's why Jesus Christ suffered, bled, and died for that very same thing. Is because racist people gonna walk amongst you. But who really cares about the quiet racist? He's a racist and he's quiet and he don't say nothing about it. He over there. If he not bothering you, he can be racist over there. As long as he don't come and shove it down my throat, I don't care what he is over there, right? He's not affecting me. If he ain't affecting me.
You don't know that.
But
you don't know what that quiet racist is doing. You don't know who he's influencing. You don't know what kids and grandkids he's influencing. You don't know that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying.
But my thing is what does that have to do with you? Regardless of what a person think or what a person is, then that's what makes me mad because it's not hard to think. It's not hard. I'm just being so serious. Like, it's not hard to think. Like, you can't sit here and tell me that he's because he's doing okay. So what are you gonna do about like you can't sit there and change how a person feels. Just that's just like them two having this conversation. It's very simple. They're having this conversation. They have different. You can tell they have different thoughts on this topic. Again, we are all not the same. We have those different thoughts, we think, we think about this, and that's why it's so amazing, why you should thank God, why you should, be involved with God, why you should, do these things, because those are things that are beautiful. People are different. Yeah, you might look like this person or this, but it's something different about you. It's something slightly different. Or it's something different at all. And that's what it is. That's what makes things so beautiful is because of different thoughts. The thing is, and the job is that, it's important, not to act out or get angry or this, that, and the other just because a person feels some type of way. So when you got Don Lemon here talking about, what is he teaching his grandkids? What is he teaching his kids? And what is he teaching? Listen, regardless, like Emmanuel said, he ain't over here telling me this and he ain't doing this to me and this and this, that's something that you shouldn't worry about. You don't go and find it, is what I'm saying. You go and find it, y'all. You see where those things go. And that's another reason why I don't even do protest. I don't like protest. You know, and I tell anybody that I'm not for, you know. And if you do this, I mean, that's for you. But I truly feel like there's other ways that you can do things, and I feel like also that there's a time where you should want, you know, not things to bring up race. I feel like if people stop talking about it and stop, you know, being about it, and like you got Ben Crump, Al Sharpton that's immediately going and, oh yeah, they are like this and they did this, and they, when you doing stuff like that, it's nothing but flaring up. Is getting people hyped. Getting people hype, you know, for no reason. There's no reason for it. I'm telling you.
You don't know who he's supporting. Maybe he's sending
quiet,
money to the Klan. You don't know.
But when I'm speaking of quiet, I'm talking about the ones who just keeping it to himself. You know what I'm saying? If he's quiet with it, I agree with what you're saying right there. I agree with that.
Emmanuel.
If he's helping people be racist, that's a problem. And when I'm speaking,
but how do you know that if he's quiet
racist,
about it? Quiet is kept. You know what quiet is kept is, right?
Hey, I'm just saying, man. I mean, bro, if you got a health problem and it don't show up on this blood result, then good deal.
Then eventually one day it's going to. Even if it doesn't show up, even if you don't know about it, it's still going to.
But here's my main thing, though.
Yes.
And I want to speak on what you just said.
Yes, sir.
I believe the world and Hollywood did this to us down here in the South. They have made everybody in the North, East, West think that we so prejudiced down here. When none of that is true, man. It is not. It's not saying that there's no prejudiced people here, but you cannot just keep saying that.
How did Hollywood convince people that what happened in the South and what's happening in the South that's real is, how does that Hollywood? Hollywood is just projecting what's happening.
Because when they make their movies, that's how they show it. They
what
project
movies?
us. Every racial movie, everything
what movies
that come through here.
Did you watch Django?
Yeah, I watched that.
Okay,
yes,
did you think that wasn't real? A lot of this stuff is based on truth.
I'm not saying that wasn't real. But
do you remember when we were going? How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 46.
Do you remember Miss Jane Pittman? Do you remember that story? Did you watch Roots in elementary school?
Yes, I did.
All right, so that was Hollywood doing that?
No, listen.
He's naming stuff that's old. We talking about stuff that's now, like, that's the problem right there. That's the problem.
Man, this is what I'm trying to say. Hollywood will take something that may be true. Or Hollywood will take something that's not true and make you think it's true by keep putting that in your head. That's their job. You know?
How are they putting something in your head that is, if it's based on reality or a true story? But so do you think that the image
used to been based on reality and a true story? But you cannot keep coming down here telling the world that, listen, man, people comment in my comments all day about how racist we are down here. You know, people, we don't move like that. We really, because here's what I think, Don, and you should know this better than anybody. Because there was a problem here in Mississippi, a big problem in Mississippi with racism. These days, people try not to step on each other's toes because they don't want it to come across as we still have that problem.
Okay, Emmanuel,
even though they might not want you to marry their daughter, but that's his personal preference. That don't make him preference. Is that not his personal preference? If a black man chooses for his daughter to be married to another black man because that's what he is, does that make that black man prejudiced? No,
yes,
that's
it does.
his preference.
Yes, it does.
So
oh my
a
gosh,
person can't prefer something?
Okay, let me tell you what. Oh, did I lose him? Are you still there?
I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I can't see you for some reason. I lost you on the thing. Okay, let me oh, here it is. Let's make sure. It's not, I can't see you. I've lost
everything's
thing.
good on my end. So
I'm going to hold on, Emmanuel. I'm going to take a break, Emmanuel.
All right.
And I'm going to come back because I can't see you. I've lost your picture on my end. So we'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll finish our conversation. I'm going to go out and come back in, Andy.
All right.
Can I just tell you something here? Look, people to ask.
Emmanuel, are you
Yeah.
there? Hopefully
Yeah.
you're back. Okay,
I'm
great.
there.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Okay, so Emmanuel, I don't even know where to start when you're talking about someone who doesn't want. Yeah, that's bias. That's prejudice. If someone doesn't want, because it shouldn't be about race. You should be
Okay.
about you. If you're a father, you should be about who your daughter loves, whether you're a
That-
black man, a white man, or whoever. And so
So
to
what
say
is it
that-
with Don? Because now he's saying it shouldn't be about race.
I don't want, if I don't want my daughter to marry a white man and I'm a black man, yeah, that's bias. That's
Bias.
racial bias.
So you can't have a preference for what cake or what car you prefer? Does that mean that you're prejudiced against?
Well, you can't compare cars. You can't compare cars to people. That's
I
not the
think-
same thing.
well,
come on.
We not. So you're saying people
You're
not
not
allowed to
helping
have
yourself.
a preference? That
preference for
don't
what?
mean a
You're
preference
allowed to
for
have
their
a preference,
choice.
but if the preference is based on race, that's problematic.
No,
because
it may
we're
not.
all humans. If you like people,
But what if-
some people like dark-haired people, some people like light-haired people. But if you
true.
discount an entire race, that's racism.
No. If a man says, "I want somebody that looks like me or resemble me to marry my daughter," that does not mean that person
That's
is
not your decision.
racist.
That's not your decision.
Yeah, we know it's not his decision, but
That's
he
not
didn't
the
say
dad's
that.
decision.
I didn't say anything that person would not accept another race come marry
Oh
his
my
daughter.
God.
I'm just saying
His
it does not
preference.
mean that a person
Emmanuel,
is racist if he wants.
are you in the
if a
sunken
black
place?
man wants his daughter to marry another black man, that does not make him a racist. And the same with a white guy. If a white
That's
guy
the thing.
wants his
Okay,
daughter to marry a white guy,
look, I'm going to move
that's not
on.
racist.
Let me just say this. I'm going to move on because I want to talk about you.
Okay.
It's exactly what I said to you in the beginning of this. You're too close to it to even understand what it is. First of all, it's not that dad's decision about who his daughter marries. That's the point. That is actually misogyny, right?
We
The fact
understand
that you think that you can control or you should control who your daughter
No,
marries, and
that's
the
not
fact
what I
that you
said.
don't
I didn't say he
understand
can
that.
control it.
He didn't
I
say
didn't
that.
say
He
he can
said a
control it.
preference.
She
But-
can pick.
oh, God.
No, here's where the racism come in. If his daughter brings home a certain person of another race, and then he says,
You got
"I
a
don't want him
problem.
in here,"
You got a problem
after
with it.
that's what she chose. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
racist. I agree with
No,
you there.
no,
But
no.
if
That's
his-
not.
if he
That's
had his
racism.
preference,
That's
he would
aggression.
prefer- If he
But
had
him
his preference, he would
preferring-
Okay,
prefer-
okay. So
another-
look at it this way. I want Don Lemon to say the same. I want him to say the same thing when you got everybody that's in my comments saying this, saying that. Oh yeah, I don't like this. When it comes down to this white person, when it's this, when it's that. He's not. He's just saying it's more so of a preference. There's a lot of black people that I know. Look at me, that I know that say, oh yeah. I don't want my daughter, like I don't want her, I don't want my son marrying and talking to no white person, and then I've heard that plenty of times. And yeah, people will look at it as, being prejudiced or being this and being this and being that. And I've seen a lot of times that a person that said that and them being that way, it's one of those things of regardless of what a person is doing, and a lot of people are they gon' you can have different opinions on this, but when you have that preference, when your son or your daughter makes that decision, now like you said, you sitting there and you acting on something, and you mad about it, you got an attitude, and you acting this way, and you doing this, and you showing aggression and this and that, yeah, that can possibly, but you sitting there and you accepting it and everything cool. Like I don't know. I feel like I think differently. And on top of that, I don't look at that stuff. Like I feel like it's amazing. Regardless of whoever is dating whoever, I feel like it is something that definitely helps the world out, especially not talking about it, but just seeing that that a lot of people can come together, and that's what just shows that, times are changing. But you have people, while he's talking about, are you in a sunken place? You got people like Don Lemon that sit there, that's in denial, that want to talk like this and want to say we look at the fact that he's in the sunken place, and he looks at things. I truly hate the fact that Don Lemon is so much in denial, and he's one of those others that wants to continue to bring up race when it comes down to things, instead of looking at things of coming together. You know, coming together, not looking at race. You know, I feel like that's definitely important. One of those people that look all the way in the past instead of looking at as what's right there in front of you. You know what I mean?
Another preferring someone of his race, that is racism. I am preferring someone of my own race. That is the definition of racism. Now, if he gets aggressive with the other guy, that's aggression and violence. But to say, if you look up the definition of racism, it is preferring, in that definition, someone of your own race.
So when are you allowed to have a preference? When are you allowed to have a preference?
I gotta go. You can't have a preference. Everybody has a preference, but that's not racism.
But racism is totally different than a preference. If he prefers,
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Like even like.
Oh my gosh! I'm not going to go on with this. I'm gonna send you someone who can talk to you better about this. And it's Eddie Glott. I'm going to give you your number. But I think that you're too close to it, that you don't understand. And people there don't understand what actual racism is because they're too close to it. It's not sleeping with someone. It's not having mixed kids. That's all. That is not. You are in the whole other realm.
He prefers not to date a black woman. He prefers to marry an Asian woman. So does that make him prejudiced against black people?
Yes, it makes him prejudiced against black women.
Huh? If his mother and sister is black, that's his preference that he chooses to like Asian women.
Yes, that's what racism is.
Or Indian women.
That's what racism is. That's the definition of racism.
Well, I guess we got a different definition of racism.
Nope. See, that's the whole thing that
you out there trying to get. And systemic racism. I agree
no,
with that. Systemic racism.
That's violence. That's violence, and that is breaking the law. Racism. Who is that noise? Racism is exactly.
That's
you, Don.
Notifications.
Oh, that's
no,
him?
That's not me. Yeah, that's him. That racism is exactly what you said. That is. That's racism. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, let's move on because we're not going to solve that here.
At least we having a good time, man.
I'm having a good time because you keep making the argument against yourself every time you open your mouth, and I'm wondering. I'm like, are you in the sunken place? I think you might be in the sunken place, Emmanuel. I think you're in the sunken place. Okay, look, I've got a quickly. I have to get off because I have an 11 o'clock appointment. However, I'm going to bring in our correspondent Daniel Grimes, who actually called you to do the interview. Daniel, real quickly because you have to get off. This is fascinating, right?
Fascinating, and I want to pivot because a lot of this conversation has focused on the one area that I feel like Don, you and Emmanuel disagree. But let's pivot back because Emmanuel, you and I chatted, and you said. Right. You've spoken to the kids there. You've spoken to, Nolan's family, and you know both sides to this. So can you just speak a little bit about? I think a lot of people want to know. Those kids are not talking. You've talked to them. What is their theory on what happened to Nolan?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what they told me this past Friday night. They said they don't know what happened, but they do believe in their heart that something happened to him. And they said they don't really want to talk to people anymore. And I was glad you brought that in because I was going to mention this to Don a second ago. They saying that they don't like the way that the reason why they really don't want to give interviews anymore. They don't like the way that the outside people has been treating black Mississippians. I'm just telling you what they say. They say they're not believing what we're saying. They think that we this racist place down here, and so we don't really want to give them interviews anymore. That's exactly what was told to me this past Friday night.
But going back to your point, so you said that they think something happened to Nolan.
Yeah.
What do they think happened?
You said he said they don't know what happened, but what are do they have any ideas? Are they giving you any theories?
Yeah, they were there.
No, one of them told me that they gave to the police about a week or so ago the last two people Nolan was seen with. One was a girl, one was a guy, and I won't be giving their names, of course, because I don't need nobody trying to sue me. But that's what I was told, that it was a guy and a girl that they was last seen with on the island. And I want to say this too about the lady that took that video and chopped it up and was able to pull up. If that video is true, Don and Daniel, if that video there is true, it's a lot of people in trouble in Ocean Springs. It's a lot of people voices on there. Now, That a lot of people are debunking it, saying that she's lying, it's AI, it's wrong. Where she got that straight from, I think it was on YouTube. She said she pulled it off of YouTube from the towing company, whatever.
That from Nancy Grace.
She wasn't. Look, she's not here to defend herself. But what she did say, but as she was putting the video out, is that this is my interpretation. It should not be the only interpretation, and it should not be taken as fact or 100% fact. So I think I think she made her case. But I don't think people are believing that. People are having confirmation bias about what they're hearing or not hearing on the tape. Some people say, I don't hear anything. And some people legitimately don't hear anything. Right. And some people do. So
one thing I think that she did say was the name Bart. Well, she heard that from somewhere because she don't know nobody out there. And it was a Bart out there. So it may be some credence to what she's saying. You know what I'm saying? Because what I'm hearing is Bart's father is suing people for slander, and according to the black guys that was around in the surrounding situation, they cleared Bart.
So you've talked to people who know Bart?
Yeah, and they were black. These were black guys.
And were they out on Horn Island, or how are they able to clear Bart?
I'm starting to think that when people are giving out information about, these things and that, people that they know, seeing the people that obviously live in Mississippi and that is speaking on these different things. As we know, this is a family friend, been knowing Christine since high school, that was the first, gave Nolan his first haircut. These are individuals you want to listen to. When it comes down to his friends, I feel like these are things that you definitely want to listen to, things that you want to hear, because there's a lot of information that can be said. But you truly have so many people that's in denial about it and don't want to listen, and want to continue to question, the facts that they give out, and it makes me mad because it's like, y'all don't want to listen. Y'all want to make up y'all false narratives, and continue to make false accusations and sit there and make AI videos and AI pictures. I'm telling y'all, man.
This particular black guy, he was at the house that night and he did see Nolan car keys on the table. That's what he told me.
He was at the house July 4th night.
Right.
On the car, you said he saw his keys on the table. Right. Where back at their apartment?
At one of them house. Yes, back at one of them house. I don't know whose house they was at.
Is it in Ocean Point? Where do they live?
Ocean Springs.
Ocean Springs. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
All right.
But I don't know no more details on that. That's just what I was told. And I'm just repeating what I'm told, and take it with a grain of salt or take it however you want to,
What do you think happened?
Let me tell you something. I've been asked that question so many times, even on other national radio talk shows and whatnot. It's so much stuff coming out, so many different variables, man. I can't say what happened, and I'm not willing to say what I think partially happened. But it's a movie, a Netflix series. I believe it's called Your Honor. I don't know if you ever seen that. But if you haven't, you'll see it. It's real life.
I think I know what he's talking about. It's a series. I didn't get to finish it, but stuff is starting to come back to me.
If something did happen, I got to go back to that lady's video. If that is the truth, then we looking at a lot of cover up here. But here's the other side to this. I know the sheriff. I know Mike.
You know Ledbetter.
Right. I know Mike Ezell. He was the sheriff, and he's now a sitting congressman. It's hard for me to believe those guys gonna turn a blind eye when if it was any foul play. I just don't see that man walking away. Now, did he speak prematurely? I believe once they found his body, I believe it looked like a drowning when you first take a look at it. But what sparked suspicion is when the mom, Christine, started making phone calls about what happened to my son, how this happened, whatever. Then she started getting mom is the word. Well, that sparked suspicion. Well, that is a problem now. Now, the sheriff done already put out his statement that they believed it was a drowning because that's at the first initial eyesight. And Don, I'm gonna say this to you, and Daniel, this case has taken on its own thing that nobody believed would have ever happened. And I believe if we had to start this case over, I believe you'll see a whole nother different case. We all Monday morning quarterbacking, even the sheriff, everybody that's involved. I don't believe that Ben Crump and Al would come down to Mississippi and say the same things and act the way they did. Because if you notice, he changed his stance. He changed up how he conducted himself.
You don't know Al Sharpton.
Well, here's what I'm
saying. I think that they would handle it the same. But anyway, go on. Go on. I don't want to argue about it. Go on.
Right when Al came to the funeral, when Ben Crump come down here and did a press conference in our city right next to me, he was saying, let's wait on the facts and the evidence. See, Don, you being a powerful black man, you could actually help the atmosphere down here in South Mississippi.
You want me to come down?
Say again?
You want me to come down there?
I was going to invite you down. I wanted you to see how we live as people down here together. Then call me. I'm going to take you around.
The thing is that's something that they don't want to do, though, because they so much in denial. That's just like the same thing when Officer Tatum asked Ben Crump to come on his show. He knows that he's not going to do that because Ben Crump know that he's not going to do that, or he won't even budge to do that, and his team don't want him to do that because he knows that he's not going to look. It's not going to look good with him. It's not going to look good at all because the things that he will say, the things that he will do, and he get caught up real easy with things that he's been saying, especially not having anything that's going on right now.
To calm the climate.
Well, yeah. The other thing I think you could help us do, if Don were to go down, and another reason why I feel like your voice and your perspective is important is because Sheriff Ledbetter, and when we chatted, you said, listen, I don't think Sheriff Ledbetter would hide things for anybody, but also you acknowledged that what a lot of people are acknowledging, which is Ashley Cole is a prominent judge in the area, and they all know each other, and it very well is a possibility that they are covering something up. Can you speak to that as well?
Well, you just never know, man. People that know one another, they know one another. Could it be? And I hate to stand on a soapbox and say he ain't gonna do nothing wrong because he's human. John could be flawed. He can do something wrong that he regret, and he can do something wrong. So I'm not gonna take that aspect away from him and just say, oh, he's Jesus Christ. I can't do that. Because he's not Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? We all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So is it possible? Yes, it is possible. But to ask me, I don't believe that they would cover anything up. Because I'm going to tell you something. The FBI is involved. The FBI does not have a problem with arresting a sitting judge. And if Ms. Cole knew something and she played a part in aiding and abetting, she's looking at jail time. And
I would say that you were right about the FBI if we weren't in this place with where Kash Patel is leading and that where the FBI is doing whatever this administration wants them to do. But listen,
I feel like that's excuse after excuse after excuse instead of accepting the fact. I feel like that's just more excuses. They blame the administration within everything and then want to say something about Kash Patel. I feel like that's BS. I truly feel like that's BS. And of course he'll say something like that. I mean, we're talking about Don.
Manuel, I would like for you to come back and we can finish this conversation, but I must go right now. It is urgent that I go because I have a very important thing.
Hey, Don, I appreciate you having me on, man. I want you to come on down here, man, and I'm going to feed you and I'm going to take you around. We're going to just go talk and watch how the people run up to you and hug you and shake your hand,
I already know that. And
a lot of them going to be white people. A lot of them going to be white people, Don.
Always, wherever I go. Those are always the ones, especially the ones who hate me. They're the first ones to come up and want pictures. But I'm surprised that you think I don't know how you live.
No, you from Baton Rouge. That's why I'm kind of surprised that you're kind of not where I'm at. But I know
I'm not where you are because I grew up there, and the reason that I left is because I needed to be a whole person and I needed to have a perspective that was different than the perspective I grew up with. I was taught a lot of things by older people, by my elders, by my parents that turned out not to be true. And as I have, and where I am now, that some distance and I can look back at things and I have some history behind me, I understand what living in Baton Rouge is about. I understand what living in the South is about. I understand thinking that racism is something else than what it is. So, and thinking that just because people are mixing and having kids together and that therefore that, you know, we don't live in a racist environment here, or that because someone is not overtly saying the N-word or trying to stop people that there isn't a racist environment there. Of course it is. And it's all illnesses that will kill. I got to run. Okay, I understand
black
what you're
people
trying
like
to say.
me, all we want to do is keep the peace and calm things down, and we don't want to put this narrative out there of hate and racism. We trying to, we want to make sure don't nobody else get this type of behavior, because you know that can happen.
I'm not that kind of black person. I want to bring things to the fore. I want people to know what's up. I don't want to pretend. I don't think we should be having people saying, look, we don't want to do that. We're not trying to rile people up. Yeah, rile people up. Get them to understand.
But
that's
you got to round them up saying the right things. You can't just round them up saying race.
Exactly. You round them up and say the right things. You can't round them up and bring in race with it. I agree.
Through discomfort. The only way that you change is changing the law and forcing people to change. It doesn't come from like, hey, I don't want to cause any problems, and let's just keep the peace and keep the status quo, and don't have these outside agitators coming in telling us how to live.
Listen, gentlemen,
that's BS though. And that's what I say, like, Don Lemon is ignorant. Like, he's ignorant, he's arrogant. He truly is, because he's not understanding. They're not saying it. They're saying it's very simple. This is what's said. This is what Emmanuel was trying to say. Even if you're rounding people up or you're saying this to individuals, it's not good to flare them up, to get them hyped, to do this, to do that when bringing race into it. You get the facts. It matters about the facts. Nobody's not saying that it shouldn't be an investigation. They shouldn't look more into this. Nobody's not saying that. It's the simple fact that they're trying to push race. That's it. And it's sickening.
I think we should.
All right.
But don't come here
racial. I want to go.
Emmanuel, Don, this is a great conversation. I think we should continue.
I got it, Daniel. I got it. Daniel, I got it. I've been doing this for 35 years. I got it. All right. Okay. Thank you, Daniel.
Come down.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Emmanuel. We'll go down. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, guys. All right. So look, guys, thank you all for watching.
Me personally, I find it very disgusting of what Don Lemon is talking about. He's definitely somebody that's in denial. Very sickening, individual when it comes down to it. And I truly don't like it. It bothers me. I'm not going to lie. It definitely bothers me a lot. But I don't know. I feel like I've talked enough. I want to hear, and see y'all comments within this video. I truly feel as if it's more so of waiting and seeing exactly what's going on with this investigation. And I truly have a feeling, that I don't know. I'm not gonna say too much until I give more information. I'm not gonna say too much, but people got to realize, what's truly going on, and realize that. You gotta wait for those facts. You gotta stop bringing race into everything, And I truly find it insane that so many people have to bring in race, with everything that's going on. I don't know. It's something that I feel like will always be there as long as people talk about it, especially when you're talking about something that happened years and years ago. Not saying that you need to forget about it, but I'm also saying don't sit there and use that within a case. Especially, within a case, like this. I don't know. Y'all just let me know in the comments what y'all think. Like I said, we're going to get the hate, but one thing about it, we're going to get the facts out there. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. And thank y'all for everything. Catch y'all next one.